Welcome back to the channel. Today we have our next sketch box. This one is for the premium for May of 2025. So we're going to go ahead, open this up and see what our theme is this month. As you know, each month we get a different box with different items in it. And it's a great way to explore new mediums. So today we have, the theme is celebrating 10 years of SketchBox. Spring marker, premium box. So we're gonna make a butterfly today. Let's see what products we have in here. Open this up. And we have a comic book. Layout double face, so it's double-sided paper. So since this is markers, we're going to need that kind of a paper. When you're working with alcohol markers, they can come through paper quite easily. And so this is the specialty paper that won't bleed through. And we have a set of sketches. We have 6 different markers with a brush and a chisel nub. Professional alcohol. So we'll sketch those and see how those work. We have a sticker that says 10 years of SketchBox. We have a touch from Shinhan Art. I have a medium tip and a brush tip. And that is in color Mauve Shadow P146. And we have a brush sign pen. This looks to be in a gray color. So that's a very thin tip, very thin brush. We have a Micron O2 in blue. And these are archival inks so that they can be used for long-term portraits. And a Jelly Roll, a 08. This is a very common pen. So, and it's actually retractable. Just need to pull the end off of that. There you go. So that's a normal white pen. And that is it in our box today. Set this to the side. And let's get this out and see how they work. So now we can open up the box or the pamphlet to see what we are. And so the step-by-step is a follow along with a video on YouTube. It's by Lana Glashett, is a lead educator for SketchBox. So says you've probably seen her before on some of this pages, and it's got step-by-step instructions on how to make our butterfly. On the back side is artwork from last month's box, one by Queen Queen. And then it shows us what's in the box. And you can see the prices that they estimate each item is worth. So you'll notice it almost always adds up to well above what we pay for the box. And the giveaway this month is Jelly Roll pans. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started first with just swatching out some of our colors and markers to see how they work. So that way when we start drawing, we have a good feel for how intense the colors are. Okay, so there is the 6 markers. You can see 6 different colors. They are raspberry, cotton candy, apricot, peachy, key lime, and sky blue. So let's go ahead and open this. And we'll take out our page so we can see it clearer. Okay. So let's start right off with the sky blue. Start with the brush end. Nice soft tip. Then the chisel tip. And I'm going to put a little bit over here as well so we can blend this with some other colors as we go. So this one is the key lime. Very light key lime color. These are almost like pastels, perfect for springtime. So go ahead and make thicker. And then make some here. And I'm going to just cross through this one so we can see what it looks like mixed together. And this one is peachy. Ooh, that almost looks like orange. It's a bright color, but it doesn't go down as bright, which is interesting. So I hit peachy, cross a line there and a line there, just to see what other colors we get. I'm going to use apricot. Nice soft brush. And then the chisel tip. Next one is cotton candy. Ooh, that's a pretty color. And the last one here is the raspberry. Ooh, that's bright. I like that color. That's a good bright one. We'll see how that dries. And then while we're here, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Shine Art one as well. And this one is in Mauve Shadow. So again, we're just gonna do some lines. And then the chisel tip. Definitely more of a purpley color. I'll set that there. We'll do our line. That is a thin line. And it is in gray. Wow, that's a very nice brush. You can always make it the thicker lines. Very nice brush. And then our normal micron. The lines. Okay. And our little jelly roll pen, which can just make designs. So you can see how it's going to show up on the different colors. Okay. And that is all of our tests. So now I'm going to bring over my sketchbook. We'll set that aside. Our next page. And we are going to follow the instructions that they included in the box to start making our butterfly. So first we're going to block in the basic shapes using the light value colors: peachy, cotton candy, and key lime. So let's do peachy. And since these are big areas, I'm going to use the chisel end. And it looks just like a basic butterfly shape, about halfway up the page. So we're going to just create a little circle for the base. Come down, make a little hump, go back, and then off of that, we're going to make our next. And then we fill it in. Now my sketchbook is watercolor paper, so it'll be able to handle the alcohol markers without the bleed through. Okay, maybe a little bit more of a pointed shape there. A little bit more. I'll bring that right down. There you go. Okay, so that's our butterfly. And then our cotton candy. Again, I'm going to use a chisel. And it looks like there's just different marks down here and just a random pattern right underneath the butterfly. So I'm going to start right here and just start making marks. Just make them randomly. And then we have a couple of little petals that fell off down here. And some right behind where it's come off the stem over this way. Right up to the edge of the paper. Okay, that's our cotton candy. And then we're going to move in with the key lime for the stem and the leaves. So again, it's relatively large. So the stem comes right off of this and right down below this. So we're just going to make a nice curved stem. And then it has a single leaf here. And then it has a larger leaf coming up. And then we have the stem that's going up right beyond this and is coming right up to this flower. And then a little leaf. A little, just a straight shoot off. And then a larger shape here for a leaf. Okay, that's all of the key lime that I see on the picture. So now we need to add in our darks. So once these are in place, you add depth using the darker values. So she used apricot to darken the upper wing of the butterfly. So we're going to go ahead and grab apricot. And again, we'll use the chisel end and fill in for the eye area a little bit, and then all along this bigger edge. And you know, she feathered it a little bit at the end, so you don't want to go all the way to the end. Maybe just add in a little bit of feathering there, and then we can come up and join it. Makes a nice dark value. Okay. And then we use the hand touch one to add in the shadows underneath the lower wing as well as in the flower. Okay. So we're gonna come back in here and we'll do this right along the shadow of the bottom of the butterfly. and then within the flower as well. When we're doing this, we want to get some of it on the pink areas and then some of it on the plain white areas, just to get it all filled in. We use different sizes, different shapes. Turn the pencil a little bit, turn the marker, do a couple more shapes, and then really shade in down here that's near the bottom where the natural shadow would be. We're just gonna put some more in here. Okay. And then again, with this one over here, focusing mostly on the shadows on the bottom, but also mixing some into the top. Okay. And we'll go back and touch these up as we get further into it, okay? Okay, then we need to build up the texture and color. So we're gonna put raspberry over top of these strokes and a little bit on that top wing. So I'm just gonna use the edge of this to cover just that little bit underneath the butterfly, as well as a couple little swishies up. And now we'll go back in and make some more shapes on top of the purples, tops of the pinks. Really fill in a lot of the white space of the flower. Do it over here as well. This one's pretty filled in, and we missed doing these ones down here. So just go back and grab my and just do a couple of these purples as well in here. Just give it some more dimension and depth. Go back and touch up a little bit where there might be still some white space. Just fill that in. Or if you might have done a little bit too much red, we want to split it off a little bit, we can just add the purples back in. Okay. So then we can take the peachy to add some little lines to our brush, or to our leaves, to give them a little bit more color and more definition. And we can also go underneath it to bring it up, filling it out. And then definitely some up in these to give it a little bit more dimension and depth. Same with this one. Okay, and this little leaf over here. Yeah, we might even come down a little bit on the side of the stem, just for a little bit of depth and design. Just make that stem a little bit more intriguing. Okay. Make it a little bit darker right through there. Bring those down a little bit more. Okay. Now we can add even darker details. So now we're going to do with the gray marker, we're going to make wings in the body on top of the peachy and apricot base. Okay. So now we're going to build up that head right here at the top with some antlers and right along the edge of this here. So right along the edge of those and right around the edge of that wing. Now we have around the edge and then just some triangular shapes. And then this one, we're actually going to take it from here, bring it down to there. Now we gotta add their little antlers. And antennae. Make them have little legs. Make them have a little bit more of a body. Fill in more of this. Just filling in the butterfly's body. Okay. fill in a little bit that's on the wing, so it's not just all the peachy color. Give it some more depth and design. Maybe I'll set a little bit more. And then I use the micron to type in some little details. Okay, so they put some hatching down here. Try to create a little bit of movement in the flower. We do a little bit over here on the base of this flower. And just wrap around some of these spots just to give them a little bit of definition. And we'll do some more with the white marker. Make that part of the eye. All right. It looks like they do some of those scribble designs are on these. So they come up and help to define the leaves. And just kind of do a little offshoots. More little scribbles. Get our black or gray marker back out and do some of these downward shadows that we see here. Do a little bit of a gray in these, just a little bit of our shadowing. Just adding a little bit of that depth. Shadows on this side. Okay. Varying your line structures. And now I will use my jelly roll. Pen. There it is. And then make some curlicues. And the rest of the eye. A couple of accents here, some V's, and just some general dots around the edges. On the back here, maybe make some more like dots, odd shaped dots. Just little scrolls here. Just make it your own. Just add some highlights. Here they do some squiggles. Just to give some interest into the flowers. Okay. And that is our butterfly. Okay. And now you can go ahead and put like a background on it using like watercolors, a nice blue background like they did with the blues and the greens. Other ideas to cover this up. And with that, thank you for joining me for the May 2025 Sketchbox. Have a great day.